Before I get started on this video, I just wanted to say one quick thing. If you guys are interested in donating to my study abroad fund, please check out the link in the description box. I am supposed to be studying abroad in Accra, Ghana this summer for the month of July. It's a 4-week program where I study at the University of Ghana, which I am like so excited about because I always wanted to study abroad in Africa, and this is my last chance to do it. But realistically, I cannot afford to fund the trip, and I need about $5,000 to cover all of my expenses, and I am just really hoping and praying that I'm able to raise these funds. So if you have $1 to donate, I would really appreciate it, or however much you want to donate. And if you can't, do not worry about it. But yes, I'm so excited about the trip. I will be vlogging the entire time if I go, and I'll be having like 4 pretty long vlogs about the entire trip, and you know, talking to you guys about it if I get to go. But again, I really need the funds, and right now they ain't there. So if you want to donate, make sure you check the link below. It's really simple, and yeah, let's get started. What's up guys, it's Brianna aka Mini Marley, and in today's video I'm going to be talking to you guys about everything you need to know about college. So every time I reference the fact that I am a college student in one of my videos, I get a couple questions about my college life, or like what I'm doing, what I'm studying, all of that. And I also get a lot of questions on my Instagram just about college life in general, how I deal with my hair in college, surprisingly, like how I got my internship at Oprah magazine, just all of that. So I just wanted to reach out to you guys, all of you that may be going to college, that are like high school seniors. Maybe you're going into your senior year of high school, so you're thinking about college, or you're a freshman in college and you just want to know some things, you know, because I'm getting ready to graduate. So I feel like I've accumulated a bit of knowledge about the college experience through my years. So through them. So the first one that I want to talk about is picking the right school. So picking the right college is probably one of the biggest decisions when it comes to college in general, because the college that you choose will influence a lot of things. So the first thing that you need to think about is financial aid. Honestly, when I was picking a college, it wasn't the first thing that I was thinking. It wasn't on my mind at all. Honestly, I was like, yeah, they're gonna give me money, I think, and I'll be able to figure it out from there. But financial aid is really important. Some schools will offer you way more money than other schools, and honestly, if you cannot afford to go to the college of your choice, you really have to make a hard decision about whether or not it's worth it. Because I know people that have like $100,000 in debt by the time they graduate, and honestly, that's crazy. So I don't know, like, if there's a difference between a public university and a private university. Public universities are like your state schools. Like if you're in Florida, that's like University of Florida, Florida State, like those. And then I go to a private university, so the tuition at a private university is a lot higher. It's way higher. So the tuition for my school is like $30,000 or something like that. No, like $36,000. And that doesn't include the cost of like books, meal plans, all of that stuff. Whereas a public university is a lot smaller. I think it's like way under 10,000. I don't know the specifics, but at a private university, you will get a lot more federal financial aid and grants and that type of thing. So that is the difference, and you really just have to weigh your options, figure out how much you can afford to pay each semester out of pocket. And sometimes you might have to go to a community college, and there's nothing wrong with that. Honestly, I think that's probably one of the biggest things. People think they have to go to this big school, they have to go to like an Ivy League even, and it's really, that's not the case. You will get a good education wherever you go if you put in the effort and, you know, do what you need to do. Honestly, NYU was my first choice. I thought like if I did not get into NYU, my life was gonna be over, and I felt like it was over when I didn't get in. But now that I go to Pace University, I'm just like, what's the big deal? I have professors that teach at NYU that also teach at my school, and it's just like, you know, like your education is what you make it. So don't go to a school that you can't afford, because you will leave with a lot of debt. And you should also think about your career choice and how much much you can afford to pay off once you graduate, you know? If you plan to be a teacher or something like that where the salary isn't that much, then $100,000 in debt is going to take you a while to pay off. So think about that. And I spent too much time talking about that, but financial aid is really, really important, I think, when you're picking the school that you're going to go to. So another thing that you need to think about is environment. What type of person are you? So for me, it was between like a state school in Florida, like the University of Florida or the University of Miami, which I got into mostly all of the state schools in Florida. And then I also applied to 3 schools up here in New York, Columbia, NYU, and Pace. And there are completely different environments. So there's some schools that are in like a college town. So basically the entire town is made up of your school basically. So outside of that, it's like woods. There's nothing around there. So, you know, your whole life is going to be on campus besides like maybe a job or something, but there's not much city life and all of that. Whereas I came to New York City and my school is just like one tall building. There's not much campus life. It's more about being in New York City and everything that New York City has to offer. So when you're picking your school, make sure that you keep that in mind. Do you want to be on a college campus that's basically, you know, like a college town where everybody is on campus and everything on campus is all that there is, really? Or do you want to be somewhere where you're in the city, like even UM, the University of Miami, that's in Miami, you know, you have the city life still around you. So yeah, it depends on what type of person you are. So that's something that you want to think about. And then of course your major. What are you trying to major in? What do you want to study? And does that school have a good program for it? So I really looked into that. I tried to make sure that all of the schools that I was applying to were gonna be beneficial to me if I ended up studying there, because of the major that I choose. Some schools don't offer every single major, so make sure that you look into that, because I, believe it or not, know people who came here thinking of course they have my major, and it's like no, they actually don't have exactly what I want to do, whereas another school would have had the exact program. So look into the program for your major and see what schools are the best for it. Okay, so once you get into the college of your choice and you decide where you're going, you've thought about all those things I just talked about, the next important thing is life on campus. So depending again whether or not you're in a bigger city where you might not, like, you know, be on campus all the time, or you're in a college town, college life on campus will be different. So I'm gonna talk about schools that basically have a bigger campus where you're living on campus and, you know, everybody's on campus, because that's where life on campus is more, you know, important. So the first thing is dorming, or where you're gonna live. Now for me, when I was coming to college, the biggest thing was like, I'm not about to share showers with 20 people that don't have the same cleaning, no, what should I say, that don't have the same, like, I don't know. Basically, I didn't want to be using dirty bathrooms and sharing showers with a million people. So communal showers for me were like, no, hunty, we're not about to do that. So at my school, luckily, I had the option of dorming somewhere where I was just sharing a shower with one person. We had our own room with our own shower, and I did not have to deal with that. But I do have a lot of friends that have had to use communal bathrooms. So when you're picking your school, you finally figure it out and you're looking at where you're gonna dorm, make sure that you find out if there are communal showers. Can you get a place that doesn't have communal showers? Does it matter to you or not? You need to think about that, because that's a big difference, and it will be a big change when you're leaving your home where you have your own bathroom or share it with siblings, and now you're sharing it with random people that you don't know. But if you do have to use a communal shower, make sure you bring shower shoes so that you are not all up on that dirty floor. And a lot of people also ask me, how do you manage your natural hair in college? So for me, it's fine because I've never had to use a communal shower. But if you do, girl, I suggest that you get the little shower caddy thing, you know, and make washing your hair really fast. I suggest that you know, detangle your hair in sections in your room so that you're not spending 30 minutes detangling your hair in the shower. Just spray it with a spray bottle, section it into 4 sections, and go ahead and detangle from there, so that once you get in the shower, slap some shampoo on there, scrub your scalp, out, wash that out, put some conditioner, wash that out, and get out, because nobody wants to spend forever in the communal showers, especially if they aren't that clean. So yeah, that can be really difficult, but yeah, I suggest detangling your hair in the room. I don't know what else I can say about that except, girl, I feel bad for you. A roommate. It can be really like stressful when you're first going into college and you don't know anybody, because you have to basically pick a roommate that you don't know, or you just get randomly assigned to someone. So the roommate situations can be really hard, but I just suggest that if you get the email or phone number, oops, I just suggested if you get the email or phone number of the person that you're gonna be dorming with, you reach out to them, you guys try to talk, you know, make it less awkward. And then when you move in, definitely go over some things. Like if you're like me and cleaning is a huge thing to you, make sure that you discuss that. Like, okay, this week this person's gonna clean, this week this person's gonna clean, and these are things that I cannot deal with, these are things that I can't deal with. You know, I just think that you should really meet with your roommates, lay it all out on the table, and just be friendly. Try to not get on each other's nerves. And I don't know, I think that the biggest problem is that a lot of times with roommate problems, like they don't tell each other basically, and you tell your friends, and then it's just a bad situation. So I think communication is really important if you do have a roommate. Now also, life on campus of course includes parties. So partying is definitely a big thing for any university or college. Even here in New York City, there's like the club scene and parties and just a lot. So, and 2 weekends ago or 3 weekends ago, one of those, I actually visited the University of Florida. No, not the University of Florida, Florida State University, which is also next to FAMU. For all of you that live in Tallahassee, y'all know, y'all was turned. No, but yeah, so there's a lot of parties on those state school campuses, and it can get really crazy. So I just recommend that you don't overdo it, honestly. It can be really easy for people to like really just party every single night, because there is literally a party every single night, but you don't want that to affect your studies, and that's the only thing that I really have to say about that. Just don't let it take over like your schoolwork. You come to college honestly at the end of the day to get your degree. That's literally the most important thing about college. You need to get your degree. Obviously along the way you need to enjoy it, because that's also what college is about. It's a really fun time. We don't have really any responsibilities. We want to have fun, want to experience all these different things. But if partying is affecting your academics, then you need to slow down, sit your behind at home this weekend and get your work done. And yeah, that's all I have to say about that. Don't drink and drive. Don't overdo it with the alcohol, you know, it can get crazy. So another thing is getting involved. So a lot of people ask me, how do you make friends in college? That's like another one of the biggest questions, and it can be hard, honestly, you know, like you're not around people that you're used to. Like in high school, you guys go from one class to the next with your friends, and you know, you build a relationship starting from elementary, because you know, everybody in the community kind of goes together. So in college, you're kind of thrown in to a new environment with new people that you don't know, and it can be hard. My recommendation is honestly to join clubs, join sports, go to activities that they have on campus, activities that they have in your dorm building, because that is just the best way to be around people. If you stay in your room, you won't meet anyone. You won't meet anyone. For instance, there are clubs like the Black Student Union, there's like baking clubs, there's all kinds of clubs, honestly. So if you want to find people that are like you, that are interested in what you're interested in, find the club for that thing that you're interested in, and you'll be introduced to people that are like you. And it's really not hard, especially during your freshman year, to make friends, because everybody is trying to make a friend. Literally, during freshman year, you will meet so many people, and by the end of college, you won't be friends with the same people, honestly. You know, you'll probably like stay friends with like one or two of them, and you'll meet other people. Like friends will come and go, especially after freshman year, because that's just a time when everyone's trying to make friends with everyone. So yeah, you'll make friends, don't worry about that. There's also like sports, there's Greek life. When it comes to Greek life, I can't really comment too much because I'm not involved in it, but I have seen it up close and personal, and it's really cool, it's really interesting. You really just need to find out about the Greek organizations, get the information you need before you make such a lifelong commitment. But if that's what you're into, that's also another thing that will give you a lot of friends. If you're in a sorority, you're gonna have a whole bunch of sisters, so yeah, that's another thing to look into. Okay, so another big thing that I feel like people do not pay attention to when they're in college is just like advising and the classes that you're taking. So a lot of schools, well, every college has, and it will like assign you an advisor, and yeah, you're basically supposed to keep up in touch with your advisor when you're picking classes so that you're on the right track to graduate on time, complete your major and everything like that. But a lot of students don't do that. They end up taking courses that they don't need, they switch majors and things just don't, you know, carry over properly, and then you end up in college for longer than you were supposed to be. So I think that it's really important to use all of your resources and make sure that you graduate when you need to, that you're on track. So me personally, I never see my advisor, only because I'm the type of person who's like really proactive about what's I'm doing. So I was like immediately went online, figured out what I needed for the communications major, the classes that I needed to take. Everything is literally online. I think people don't really realize that, but you can literally go to your school, find the major that you're in, find the courses that you need to take, find the university requirements for like, you know, those core classes and what classes that you can take that will fall under it. And every semester when you're picking classes, you need to go back to that, make sure that you're taking the right classes, make sure that you're on the right track. And if you need assistance, seek out your advisor and ask, because you don't want to get to your senior year and realize that you have too many credits left to take and you're gonna have to take classes over the summer or something else like that. So just honestly stay on top of your academics and don't let that fall behind with all of the fun that comes along with the college life. And as far as academics, also books, do not get your books until the first day of class when you've spoken to your professor and he tells the class, oh, you're gonna be tested on information from these textbooks, or you are gonna need to write something based on these textbooks. Unless they say that, don't buy the books. For some reason, professors like to write all these books down that you need to get, and then at the end of the semester, you haven't opened a single one of them and you're stuck with them. So I literally have a box full of books that I bought literally just in my freshman and sophomore year, which is why now I don't buy books. No, I suggest that you look online first. Even if you do have to buy the book, look online and see if there's a way that you can download it. There are ways that you can download it. But yeah, just make sure that you need it before you buy it, because oftentimes you won't need it. But if you do, then get the book. But if you do, get the book and, you know, make sure that you do the readings and etc, etc. You'll find out once you get to college that you don't always have to do the readings. But anyway, another big thing is career services. So a lot of schools have a career service office where you can go to find out about getting a job, getting an internship, getting a work study. Now those are three very important things when you're in college. When you're getting ready to graduate or like in your senior year, jobs are more important. But throughout college, I definitely recommend interning. Interning is really good because it gives you a chance to get experience in the field that you're going to be in. And even if you say you get an internship that has a certain title, but when you get into the internship, you're only getting coffee and doing dumb things like that. But once you're applying for a job, it still shows that you had an internship under this category, blah, 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 and you have experience, and you're the person that those jobs are going to want to hire. So make sure that you go to your career services and find out about these internships. If you're eligible for work study, that is a really great opportunity for you basically to make money that you're not going to be taxed on, and usually it's super easy. It just means sitting at a desk, but sometimes you will have to do work, obviously. But yeah, look into your career services to find out more information. And again, if you're like me and you're just proactive, you can also do it on your own. So here is a major tip. If you are a communications, journalism, or anything like that major who wants to work within magazines, this is a website that you need to visit. And I'm sharing you guys my tip, my ultimate secret, because I feel like not that many people use this. Maybe they do. But Ed 2010, I'll leave the website right here, and I'll also leave it in the description box, is like the ultimate destination for magazine internships. Now, if you don't live in New York City, that can be a problem because all the magazines are here. So for the ones where you need to be in the office, you will need to be here. But they also have a ton that are just online internships. And yeah, you can just apply for them and do them remotely, or maybe you decide to spend the summer in New York City to intern at a magazine because you're really serious about this career or whatever. But Ed 2010 basically lists magazine internships for all of the major magazines. If it's under Condé Nast, like Vogue or Teen Vogue or Glamour, then it's not going to be on there because those anything Condé Nast, they don't take interns anymore. That's just a little bit of information. But if you're going to be interning with Here's Publications, so for me, I interned at Oprah magazine, and I found that internship right there on ed2010.com. I submitted the documents that I needed to submit, and luckily I was blessed enough to get that internship, which was an amazing opportunity. And I was going to talk about it more in this video, but I feel like it's so long. But yeah, I basically interned at Oprah magazine in the fashion closet. I got to meet Oprah, yes, because her stylist, who styles her for most of her cover shoots, just asked me to come with her to 2 different shoots, which was amazing. And I got to help get Oprah dressed for one of those shoots, which was just and yeah, I just really learned a lot about fashion in general, and about how the magazine industry works and a lot of that, which is really important because now I know that you know, I know a lot more information when it comes to that. So yeah, intern, it's really important. And it also gives you a chance to see if you really are interested in that field. Some people say they want to do marketing, they get a marketing internship and they're like, I never want to work in a marketing firm or anything like that. So intern, you might realize that your career choice is not actually what you want to do. Okay, so that's pretty much it for topics that I wanted to discuss. And now I'm gonna go over to the questions that you guys asked me on Instagram and try to ask some of them if I haven't, of course, already covered it. Okay, so I got about 60 questions. So the first one is, how do you balance college, boyfriend, and YouTube and still make good grades and stay focused? Oh my god, girl, I do not know. No, I'm not gonna lie. I'm a communications major and it's really not that difficult. I find the major to be pretty easy, but I know that a lot of other majors really require you to read a lot, to study hard. You have really hard exams and everything like that, and it can be super time consuming. So I think that the best thing to do is to schedule out your life. Literally schedule your days if you have to, from the you wake up until you go to bed, and try to stick with it. I think that's really important for people like that because it really just allows you to balance. It gives you this much time for studying, this much time for friends, and this much time for your hobby. So really, that's my only tip for that, is to schedule out your life. For me, luckily, I don't have to really schedule out my life that hard because I find myself having a lot of free time. So thank God for that. Motivation. Somebody just put motivation, question mark. So I get my motivation honestly just from where I see myself in the future, how I see myself living, and I want to get to that point, and I want my life to be what I imagine it to be. So that just motivates me to do everything that I need to do to get to that point. I also feel very strongly about like helping out the Black community and the struggles that we're going through right now, the different issues, and it's just, that's a whole nother video, but I am very passionate about that. So I'm also really motivated to do well and to succeed so that I can give other Black girls like myself, Black boys, the opportunity to do a lot of great things. I basically just want to become really successful so that I can give back to the Black community. That's another huge motivation for me. So yeah, what school do you attend? I go to Pace University, which is in downtown Manhattan in New York City. If there was only one advice you would give us about college, what would it be? Stay focused. and have fun. So having fun is really important. You want to make sure that your college experience is everything that you imagined it to be, and you really want to make sure that you get your education, because some people come to college and they just slack off. They forget why they're there. They forget that they spent so much money, or their parents are paying so much money, which is really disrespectful. Like, you need to get your degree if that's what you came for, and that is my main tip. If you were to get a scholarship, how would that benefit you in other areas of your work? What? I don't really know what that question is supposed to mean, but scholarships are great because they are free money, and you know, you don't have to come out of pocket with it, and then you can use your own spending money to spend on stuff that you want to spend it on. My cousin is going to attend Pace University in the fall. Is there any advice you would give her since you attend that school? Pretty much everything that I said in this video applies to a student that is going to Pace University. I just, again, say, you know, get involved if you want to make friends. Find out where you're dorming. I suggest St. George, which is in Brooklyn Heights. It's the best dorm. Or, you know, we're building a lot of new dorms, so that's not even an issue, but yeah, I don't really have that much advice for my school. What process did you go through to pick the college for you? The factors you analyzed. Again, I mentioned that earlier, and at the end of the day, it came down to financial aid. All of the state schools that I applied to, for some reason, did not give me money, and that is something that you need to expect. If your parents are making any type of money, like, they will not want to give you, the college will not want to give you that much financially. That's a fact. And people make themselves look like really poorer than they are on their FAFSA stuff to get more money. I'm not saying that you should do that. I don't do that, but yeah, it's hard to get financial aid. So the state schools didn't really give me any. I got into UM and I was really considering it, and they gave me like $30,000, but I still had to come up with another 30. And yeah, it's just really crazy, so look into it. At the end of the day, Pace University, I decided to come here because they gave me a substantial amount of financial aid, and I also decided to be a part of the honors college, which gave me another $15,000 yearly. So that was a huge deciding factor for me. How hard was it to adjust to being far away from home? I guess I was sad at first, just a little. Not really. Like, you make friends and you start, you know, doing things and you forget that you're away from home. But no, it can be a little hard to not be around family, to not be able to just go home for the weekend like other people do. But I really just stayed in contact with my mom a lot. I talk to her pretty much daily. We text and everything, so it makes her feel a little bit closer. So I definitely recommend staying in touch with your family and not forgetting about them when you go away, because that helped me adjust. Would you recommend staying on campus your first or second year? Yes, I definitely recommend staying on campus for your first year at least, because it's a great way to make friends and also get familiar with the area that you're in. For me, I was coming all the way to New York. I didn't want to be in an apartment if I didn't know the city yet and all of that. So I definitely recommend dorming no matter where you are, really. What's my major? Communication studies. Do you like large colleges, universities, or smaller ones, and why? So if I was going to a smaller university in a place that wasn't too much in the city, I don't know if that makes sense. Like, my university is pretty smallish, but it's in the city, so there's a lot of city life, and I like that. But if I wasn't in a situation like this, then I would want to be on a large campus. When I went to FSU, I completely fell in love. If you follow me on Snapchat, you probably saw that. But I was in love with the campus, and I think that living in a college town is just so much fun. It's just a really great, but again, like, you need to know the type of person you are. I probably would have went down a completely different path had I went to a state school on a big campus, because there's just so much to do. There's just so much. So yeah, I really like large college campuses, but again, think about the factors that I mentioned earlier and decide if it's for you or not. How are the living expenses for a young adult in New York? Girl, it is so expensive here. I don't even know what else to say. It's really expensive. So it's really expensive. You're gonna be struggling. You're going to need a job, or How were your first couple of weeks away from home? Was it emotional? Did you make friends right off the bat? My first couple of weeks, I really was just friends with my roommate. Hey, Kelsey! So me and my roommate like did some things. I remember like we walked in Brooklyn for so long to like Barclays Center, which was near our dorm. And yeah, so my just being with my roommate and liking my roommate was really helpful because we did some things together, and that was fun. But yes, at first it's kind of emotional because I was so far away from home. I was missing my friends, and I'm just like, really? But it didn't really take long for me to adjust, honestly. Admissions, getting in with an average GPA, how colleges look at not taking a math or science senior year, SAT and ACT scores. Okay, so I think that the only important things when you're doing admissions is like your essay, because that is how you will pull on the heartstrings of those, you know, college advisors. So yes, make sure that your essay is A1, make sure that you get it like read over by somebody. Don't be basic, you know, like just really put a lot into your essays. Your GPA should be on fleek. Make sure that you're thinking about that throughout high school, because yeah, you want to have a higher GPA. A lot of people are going to college these days, and you're gonna have a lot of competition. And yes, your ACT and or SAT scores do matter. I did really well on the SAT and not so good on the ACT. I got like a 1920 on my SAT, and yeah, I don't know, I feel like admissions has a lot to do with different factors that you might not know about. Like, I was so involved in high school. I was National Honor Society president for a while. I was like, my GPA was pretty good. I played sports, I did everything. So I thought for sure I'm gonna get into NYU, and I didn't get in. And I feel like it's because like for each major they have a certain amount of students that they take in each semester, and there's just a lot of factors, and so many people are applying. So honestly, just don't be discouraged. Just do your best and apply, because you never know. You just never know. How was it living with a roommate? Any awkward situations? Of course. Kelsey, if you're watching this video, you can comment below, let them know how I was just a horrible roommate. No, but yeah, of course there's gonna be awkward situations and moments. It's really hard living with someone, period. So sharing a tiny room like most college dorms are is gonna be a test. You just really have to communicate, be open with each other, and things are gonna happen. You are gonna have problems. So just be prepared for it. It's a part of growing up and being an adult, because we're adults now. So yes, just keep that in mind. Is it as hard as everyone makes it seem? For me, no, not at all. I feel like in general it's not as hard, no matter what your major is. You do have to study a lot for some majors, but in general high school teachers make it seem like, oh my gosh, you guys need to be reading, because when you guys are college, you're gonna be reading 40 pages every night. So make sure that you're, girl, there's a lot of shortcuts. There's a lot of ways that you can manage college without it really stressing you out and taking over your life. And I really am a person who believes you should not be stressing that hard in college. Like, it should still be fun. So if you're just like so stressed all the time, like, you need to figure something out. Maybe reorganize your life, I don't know, reconsider. But yeah, you should really enjoy college. So that's my tip there. Were you nervous on your first date? Yes, I was. It is okay to eat by yourself on the first date, just saying. How do you like going to school in New York City? I love it. There's so many opportunities as far as like careers and everything. And yeah, I don't know, I like it. I go to school in a rural area where there is really nothing to do, and I always say I wish I went to a bigger school in a city, or just a bigger school in general. Is your school big? If so, do you like being at a big school, or do you wish you had a smaller school? I basically just covered that, but I like the school that I'm at kind of because there's a city life, and again, I would not want to be in a small school in a rural area. Basically, no. So a lot of these questions I pretty much answered. How do you keep up with social and academics? Again, schedule out your life. Make sure that you're leaving enough time to study while still having fun. What were some different changes from going to college in New York from Florida? Just the campus life is way different. A lot of people at my school commute because I live in New York City. So people are coming from Brooklyn, the Bronx, Queens, New Jersey, etc. So people kind of commute back home after class, whereas on a college campus, everybody is on campus. So you're gonna have a lot more, I feel like there's a bigger opportunity for making friends. You're gonna be hanging out with your friends a lot more, going to a lot more parties kind of. But there's still a lot of parties and stuff at my school, and there's ways to make friends, but it's a little bit harder because everyone is commuting. How do you keep your hair healthy on your busy schedule? Again, I'm probably not as busy as you guys think, but yeah, if you're in college, just really, I don't even know, just, you know, again, my tips about showering and the maybe communal showers and everything. Have your little shower caddy and just do what you have to do, really. How do I stay in contact with my family? I text, I call. How do you manage to do a second great year when you're not very proud of your first year? How do you improve yourself? Honestly, again, just really you have to just bring yourself back into focus. For your first year, that's not uncommon for you to not do that well, because you get distracted by so much. You have so many more things that you can do. For me, my mom was always strict. I went from Miami and I literally was not allowed to go to the beach with my friends because my mom thought I would drown. Like, that is how strict my mom was. So coming to college was like, oh my gosh, the possibilities are endless, you know, and it's easy to get distracted by that. So I would say if you don't do well your first year, just really refocus yourself, remind yourself why you're in college, and you can definitely bring up your GPA and work harder. You can retake a class that you did really bad in that might be bringing down your GPA. So yeah, make sure that you refocus and just get the job done. Think about the career that you want and how that's your GPA and stuff are gonna look once you graduate and you're trying to get a job. So yeah. How do you budget for hair and clothes while not being homeless? So for me, I'm blessed enough to have this platform, YouTube, and it's really because of you guys, because if you weren't watching my videos, I wouldn't be able to make money and that type of thing. So for me, I've had this opportunity, which is just amazing, because I've thought about it, and if I wasn't on YouTube, I would be homeless. Like, it's so expensive living in New York City, so that's a different story. But if you're on a college campus, girl, get you a work study job, which is gonna probably be minimum wage, but you're gonna be making some pocket money, and honestly, that's all you're gonna really need, because after you've already paid for your bill that covers your financial aid and dorming and all of that, make sure that you're trying to get grants and stuff. Call the financial aid office and tell them you need more money. You need to make yourself sound like you are poor, you have no money, you're not going to be able to come back to school if they don't give you more financial aid. I've gotten more money like that, so make sure that you do that. I should have said that earlier. That is a major tip, okay? Yeah, I think I'm gonna stop there because this video is already so long. But so the last thing that I want to say before I wrap this up is, if you are a person who is not going to college, or you're not sure, you just really feel like it's not for you, and you feel some type of way because all of your friends are applying and they're going away, do not feel discouraged, because I do not feel like college is for everyone. And the worst thing that you can do is force yourself into that situation where you're going to a school that you absolutely hate, you're depressed, you're sad, you don't want to be there, and you're wasting a ton of money. That is the worst thing that you can do. So just think about it. There are other options. You can go to a trade school and learn something that you really love. My mom went to cosmetology school to become a beautician, and she loves it. So my dad is a mechanic and he loves it, and he has his own business in that area. You don't have to go to college. You really don't. And if it's not for you, think about what is for you, and just make sure that you do have a plan for how you're going to become successful, which again, success is defined in your own words. Do not feel like you have to follow the same path of all of your friends, all the people that you graduated with, because you really don't. Just make sure that you do have a plan and you do figure out something. If you want to join the military, do that. So yeah, everybody's path is not going to be the same, and if you are not going to college, don't be discouraged. But if you are and you really had a lot of questions, I hope that my video really answered them, because yeah, college is fun. I like talking about this stuff. If there's a question that you had that I did not answer, leave it below, and I'm going to do my best to go through all of those questions and chat with you guys a little bit, find out where you're going to school. If you don't have another question, comment below letting me know where you are going to school, because I want to know what colleges and universities you guys are following me from. So yeah, that's awesome. And yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I cannot wait to see you in the next one. Peace out, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.